What's going on, everyone? And today we'll be talking about the full story behind Immortal Blood and Movarth Bequeen. I'll begin by reading the book itself. The moons and stars were hidden from sight, making that particular quiet night especially dark. The town guard had to carry torches to make their rounds. But that man who came to call at my chapel carried no light with him. I came to learn that Movarth Bequeen could see in the dark almost as well as the light, an excellent talent considering his interests were exclusively nocturnal. One of my acolytes brought him to me, and from the look of him, I at first thought he was in need of healing. He was pale to the point of opalescence, with a face that looked like it had once been very handsome before some unspeakable suffering. The dark circles under his eyes bespoke exhaustion, but the eyes themselves were alert, intense, almost insane. He quickly dismissed my notion that he himself was ill, though he did want to discuss a specific disease. Vampirism, he said, and then paused at my quizzical look. I was told that you were someone I should seek out for help understanding it. Who told you that? I asked with a smile. Tessina Gray. I immediately remembered her, a brave, beautiful knight who had needed my assistance separating fact from fiction on the subject of the vampire. It had been 2 years, and I had never heard whether my advice had proved effective. You've spoken to her? How is her ladyship? I asked. Dead, Movarth replied coldly, and then, responding back to my shock, he added to perhaps soften the blow. She said your advice was invaluable, at least for the one vampire. When I talked to her, she was tracking another. It killed her. Then the advice I gave her was not enough, I sighed. Why do you think it would be enough for you? I was a teacher once myself years ago, he said. Not in a university. A trainer in the Fighters Guild. But I know that if a student doesn't ask the right questions, the teacher cannot be responsible for his failure. I intend to ask you the right questions. And that he did for hours. He asked questions and I answered what I could. But he never volunteered information about himself. He never smiled. He only studied me with those intense eyes of his, committing every word I said to memory. Finally, I turned the questioning around. You said you were a trainer at the Fighters Guild. Are you on an assignment for them? No, he said curtly. And finally I could detect some weariness in those feverish eyes of his. I'd like to continue this tomorrow night if I could. I need to get some sleep and absorb this. You sleep during the day? I asked. To my surprise, he returned the smile, though it was more of grimace. When tracking your prey, you adapt to their habits. The next day, he did return with more questions, these ones very specific. He wanted to know about the vampires of Eastern Skyrim. I told him about the most powerful tribe, the Volkihar, paranoid and cruel, whose very breath could freeze their victims' blood in the veins. I explained to him how they lived beneath the ice of remote and haunted lakes, never venturing into the world of men except to feed. Movarth Bequeen listened carefully and asked more questions into the night, until at last he was ready to leave. I will not see you for a few days, he said, but I will return and tell you how helpful your information has been. True to his word, the man returned to my chapel shortly after midnight 4 days later. There was a fresh scar on his cheek, but he was smiling that grim but satisfied smile of his. Your advice helped me very much, he said, but you should know that the Volkihar have an additional ability you didn't mention. They can reach through the ice of their lakes without breaking it. It was quite a nasty surprise being grabbed from below without any warning. How remarkable, I said with a laugh. And terrifying. You're lucky you survived. I don't believe in luck. I believe in knowledge and training. Your information helped me, and my skill at melee combat sealed the bloodsucker's fate. I've never believed in weaponry of any kind. Too many unknowns. Even the best swordsmith has created a flawed blade. But you know what your body is capable of. I know I can land 1,000 blows without losing my balance, provided I get the first strike. The first strike, I murmured. So you must never be surprised? That's why I came to you, said Mobar. You know more than anyone alive about these monsters, in all their cursed varieties across the land. Now you must tell me about the vampires of northern Valenwood. I did as he asked, and once again his questions taxed my knowledge. There are many tribes to cover. The Bonsambu, who were indistinguishable from Bosmer, except when seen by candlelight. The Kirlith, who could disintegrate into mist. The Yekef, who swallowed men whole. The dread Telboth, who preyed on children, eventually taking their place in the family, waiting patiently for years before murdering them all in their unnatural hunger. Once again he bade me farewell, promising to return in a few weeks. And once again he returned as he said, just after midnight. This time, Movarth had no fresh scars, but he again had new information. You were wrong about the Kirlith being able to vaporize when pushed underwater, he said, patting my shoulder fondly. Fortunately, they cannot travel far in their mist form, and I was able to track it down. It must have surprised it fearfully. Your field of knowledge is becoming impressive, I said. I should have had an acolyte like you decades ago. Now tell me, he said, of the vampires of Cyrodiil. I told him what I could. There was but one tribe in Cyrodiil, a powerful clan who had ousted all their competitors, much like the Imperials themselves had done. Their true name was unknown, lost in history, but they're experts at concealment. If they kept themselves well fed, they were indistinguishable from living persons. They were cultured, more civilized than the vampires of the provinces, preferring to feed on victims while they were asleep, unaware. They'll be difficult to surprise, Movarth frowned. But I will seek one out and tell you what I learn. And then you will tell me of the vampires of High Rock, and Hammerfell, and elsewhere, and Blackmarsh, and Morrowind, and the Somerset Isles, yes? I nodded, knowing then that this was a man on an eternal quest. He wouldn't be satisfied with but the barest hint of how things were. He needed to know it all. He did not return for a month, and on the night that he did, I could see his frustration and despair, though there were no lights burning in my chapel. I failed, he said, as I lit a candle. You were right. I couldn't find a single one. I brought the light up to my face and smiled. He was surprised, even stunned by the pallor of my flesh, the dark hunger in my ageless eyes, and the teeth. Oh yes, I think that the teeth definitely surprised the man who couldn't afford to be surprised. I haven't fed in 72 hours, I explained as I fell on him. He did not land the first blow, or the last. Now, we must head to Morthal to investigate the burned down house and its connection to a once great vampire hunter.
Welcome to the Moorside. If you need anything, I'll be around. Good to have a customer.
Is there a story behind that burned out house?
Rogar's house? It burned down not too long ago. It's a real pity about his wife and kid. The screams woke half the town. Most folk won't go near it now for fear it's cursed.
So, how did the fire start?
Hrogar claims it was a hearth fire. Some folks say Hrogar started it himself.
With his own wife and child inside?
That's what they say. See, he's living with Alva now. That started the day after the fire. It ain't right moving in with a new love the day after your kin die like that.
And, of course, they can't prove he murdered them.
Aye. Our Jarl would sure like to know if he did, though. Might even pay to find out.
Now we had to speak with Jarl Igrid about the investigation.
So, life has brought you to Morthal, and to me. What purpose this serves we will no doubt see. Welcome.
I hear you want someone to look into the house fire.
Hrogar's house fire? Well, he lost his wife and daughter in the blaze. My people believe it to be cursed now. Who am I to gainsay them?
What does Hrogar say happened?
Hrogar blames his wife for spilling bear fat in the fire. Many folk think he set the fire himself.
Why would he do that to his own family?
Lust can make a man do the unthinkable. The ashes were still warm when he pledged himself to Alva.
So, you haven't arrested him?
On rumor and gossip? No. But you, a stranger, might find the truth for us. Sift through the ashes that others are too fearful to touch. See what they tell you. Should you prove him guilty or innocent, I will reward you.
Now we head to investigate the house, where we find Helgi's ghost.
Who's there? Is that you, Father?
Who are you?
Helgi, but Father says I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Are you a stranger?
Is Hrogar your father?
You know him? He made my favorite dolly, but I can't find her. Are you sure you aren't a stranger?
No, I'm a friend. Do you know what happened to your house?
The smoke woke me up. I was hot and I was scared, so I hid. Then it got cold and dark. I'm not scared anymore, but I'm lonely. Will you play with me?
If I do, will you tell me who set the fire?
Okay, let's play hide and seek. You find me and I'll tell you. We have to wait for nighttime though. The other one is playing too, and she can't come out until then.
The other one? What do you mean?
I can't tell you. She might hear me. She's so close. If you can find me first, I can tell you.
Helgi is located on the hill behind her house. But watch out for Leylette, who will attack when you approach the gravesite.
You found me! Leylette was trying to find me too, but I'm glad you found me first. Leylette was told to burn Mommy and me, but she didn't want to. She wanted to play with me forever and ever. She kissed me on the neck, and I got so cold that the fire didn't even hurt. Leylette thought she could take me and keep me, but she can't. I'm all burned up. I'm tired. I'm gonna sleep for a while now.
Leylette. She's dead. Ysmir's beard. She's a vampire. She's dead. Leylette is dead.
What can you tell me about your wife?
Leylette. I thought she left to join the Stormcloaks. Oh, my poor Leylette.
Did you notice anything strange before she left?
She began to spend a lot of time with Alva. Yet just a week before, she despised her. In fact, the night she disappeared, she was supposed to meet Alva. Alva told me later that she never showed up. I never got to tell her goodbye.
I think they may have met after all.
You think Alva? But that means... Ye gods! You think Alva is a vampire?
It's a possibility we can't ignore.
No, you're wrong. You must be wrong. Leylette may have met her fate out in the marsh. I refuse to believe Alva had anything to do with this. There is no way you can prove it to the Jarl. I hope Alva is not what you think.
Now we must investigate Alva's house, and if you go at night, she won't be there. But Hrogar will, who will attack on sight. Now, most players, being the psychos we are, would kill on sight, but I recommend using a calm spell so you can keep him alive for later purposes. After calming him and heading down into the cellar, we discover a coffin, and laying inside of it is Alva's journal. Quote, "My life is dreary. Where is my prince to come rescue me? Where is my bold Nord warrior to sweep me off my feet? I met a man today when picking night flowers. He's exciting and exotic. We kissed in the moonlight. It was so romantic. I'm going to see him again tonight. Now I understand the true colors of the night. Movarth has shown me the true black of night and the true red of blood. He has promised me a feast of blood if I do his bidding in Morthal." Hrogar was easy to seduce. Movarth said I should find a protector first, someone to watch over my coffin during the day. Hrogar is perfect. Laylette came to visit me tonight. She slaked my thirst. I've hidden her away to let her rise as my handmaiden. I've spread the rumor in town that she left to join the war. Fools. Movarth has confided his grand plan to me. I am to seduce the guardsmen one at a time and make them my slaves. Then he and the others from the coven can descend upon Morthal and take the entire town. We won't kill them. They'll become cattle for our thirst, an endless supply of blood, and an entire town to protect us from the cursed sun. Hrogar's family is becoming inconvenient. I've told Laylette to kill them all, but make it look like an accident. Hrogar must be seen as innocent if he's going to be my protector. That little fool. Laylette burned Hrogar's family alive. I asked for an accident, and she gave me a scandal. To make matters worse, she tried to turn his little girl, Helgi. Except Laylette couldn't even get that right. She killed the child and left the body to burn. Something is wrong with Laylette. She keeps talking about Helgi. I think her mind has snapped. She seems to think that the child can still be brought back to be her companion. There's a stranger in town looking into the fire. I'll have to be careful. End quote. Now let's return to Jarl Igrid with what we found.
Tamriel is full of wisdom and magic, if one is willing to look. Is Hrogar innocent or not?
I have Alva's journal.
So it's true, the traitorous bitch. Morthal owes you a debt. Here, you were promised a reward for solving the crime, but I need one more favor from you. Morthal is still in danger. The journal mentions Movarth, a master vampire I thought was destroyed a century ago. I'll gather together some able-bodied warriors to clean out Movarth's lair. They'll be waiting outside for you to lead them.
Now we head for Movarth's lair to kill the master vampire and put a potentially millennia-old threat to rest.
At your best, huh? No more! I yield!
I had one of the vampire's thralls bug and become a different type of undead. We delve deeper into the cave and we see him, Movarth Pequeen, sitting at the head of the table. He ended up running away back to his bedchamber.
Guess it's all clear now. Is there... What do you need, handsome? Is there something I can do for you?
But for some reason, Alva wasn't hostile towards me. I changed that because she doesn't get to live with what she's done. On our way out, we once more encounter Helgi's ghost, who says this.
Mother's calling me. It's time for me to sleep now. I'm so tired. Thank you for making her feel better.
Now, let's report back to Jarl Igrid.
You look sick. I hope it's not contagious.
The master vampire, Movarth, is dead.
By the 8, I didn't think he could do it. Now maybe we can put all this behind us. Take this as a token of our gratitude.
That ends the quest, but now I'd like to head back to Alva's cabin to check on Hrogar.
You want to talk to me after everything you've done? Thank you for saving me from Alva. I was completely under her evil spell. I'll never forgive myself for what happened to Helgi and my wife. I'm not one for talk. Try to keep to myself. I just try and do my job and not think about what's happened. Try to find what happiness I can. Ignore the talk of spirits and creatures and such. It's just superstition. There's enough real troubles in the world without making new ones up.
As you can see, he's no longer hostile, as the vampire's seduction has been broken. Thus ends a tragic tale, but one that surely deserves telling. But I think Immortal Blood tying into this quest is really interesting, and I hope you all do too. I thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.